To build a strong house, you gotta start with a solid foundation. This is Rick's House, the home improvement show.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. And let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing, quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Stover's Liquidation knows that the cost of materials to build or remodel a home has gone up, up, up. But our prices are low, low, low at Stover's Liquidation. Great prices every day. Luxury vinyl plank starting at just 69 cents per square foot. Pre-finished hardwood flooring starting at just $129 per square foot. Appliances, 40% less than you pay at the big box store. Just in, beautiful 3/4 by 6 pre-finished hardwood flooring. Several great colors. Get it before it's gone. Come shop us at Antioch, Oak Ridge, or Cookeville, or online anytime at stoversliquidation.com. Stover.
Want the good, the bad, and the ugly of home improvement? You found it. This is Rick's House.
Oh, well, it's Rick's House. If you got a question, he'll help you figure it out. 'Cause it's Rick's House.
All right, good Sunday morning. Let's try that again. Cord had come unplugged from the back of the computer and we lost power. And when that happens, that's what happened. We're back. Thank you for joining us. And Vance, I can't send that from this particular email, so I'm going to try to take a picture of it and forward it to you so that you can see it just as well. So we'll do that too. Learning as we go here on the Rick's House program. That's a part of what we do. We find out, how we do it, where we do it, and how we make that happen. And so that's what we do. So excited about being back with you. And I don't know what in the good gracious is it's new. We're trying new things, and that's what we're doing. So we'll continue to figure it out as we go along the way and go from that. And we will see if we can't take some phone calls and make that happen here in just a little bit. We've been talking about roofing, and so we're back to it now. I apologize for cutting y'all off, and I'm hoping that you're seeing us back at it as we are trying to get that fixed. Something as simple as a loss of power. It's just crazy. And when we were on the road, that happened a lot. It was things that happened, and there's nothing you can do about it. It kicks you off, and when it does, you do what you gotta. You do what you got to do. So we're glad to be back to it. And hopefully this won't happen anymore today, and we'll get it done. So we'll make that happen. I'm excited about being here and excited about trying new things and excited about having the video up with it as well as we continue to move forward with trying the new show on Sundays. So let us know in the comments if you can see us and we're back. And that's the old one. Let's see if we may have to reset these. I bet we will. So let's do that. Reset and go back to it. It's a learning thing. Once I get it set up completely where it's the way that I want it, we'll have it the way that we need it, and it'll be good. But I'm learning, y'all. So hey, that's how we go. That's how we roll. That's what we do. That's how we do it. So we'll get that situated. You know, roofing is something that when you deal with it, it's a major expense. And we have talked a lot about having it where, you know, it's a 20-year roof, a 30-year roof, a 40-year roof. And, you know, and it's one of those things that I don't like, you know, I don't like putting good over bad. And we've talked about that a lot on the show itself. That's one of the things that has become important to us. I want to get it off, and I want to look at that roof deck, and Vance is ready to go. Okay. All right. We'll try that. We'll try that. V's in the room. All right. Now we're all good. We're back, and we'll make that happen. And again, I apologize. Don't know why it's not happening on my personal page, but hey, that's part of it. And so, Vance, I'm going to try to get this link on here and send it to you. I'm doing this through the Rick's House page, and I don't have, and it wants to use Microsoft, and I don't want to use Microsoft to make that email. I want to do something different. So maybe we can add that. I don't know. It's just something I'm going to have to experiment with to see if we can add you in there. Maybe I set it up so that we use the Rick Allen page, Rick's House Radio, instead of Rick's House Radio Show, RHRS on the road. I don't know which way we need to do that, but we'll try it and see what's what and go from there. So that being said, but you can comment in the, let's see if I can share the stream. Let's see if we can do that. Share it to there, share it to there, share it to there. Okay, Rick's House. It should all be being shared, so that's good. We've got that up and running. Why it's not on the other one, I don't know. So these are things we're going to talk about on Sunday. We're going to include some more music and do some stuff like that. And so, but that roof cost is something. If you can use a Roof Max product, I'm good with it. I think it's something that you can utilize. That, you know, if you can get another 5 years out of it, or another 6 years or 8 years or whatever you can get, or 10, then that's just money that you're putting in your pocket. And especially if you're thinking about selling your house, or, you know, it's why not get the most out of that house that you can get out of it. Now you'll still see our folks at the bottom of the page, but you'll see a different call-in number. That's the call-in number of the station when we're on Saturday. So we're not doing that. So we're using the Miracle Method message line. And Vance, if you're listening to me, what I want you to do is I want you to call the Miracle Method message line and let me see if we can get you on air. So this will be another test for us this morning to see how we're going at 865-255-3911, 865-255-3911. It may go nuts. I don't know what it's going to do, but like I said, we are experimenting and learning as we go. The technology has gotten so much more tricky, but I want to have this all worked out by this next coming week, so that this can be our regular thing that we do on Sundays. And so we're excited about that. So Vance, if you'll give that a try, we'll go from there and see. And you may be live on the air when it happens. So just be aware of that, so you don't get caught by not knowing what's going down. And then we may have to swap it from there to Bluetooth. I don't know. We'll just have to see. So, but one way to try it, 865-255-3911. That's how we make it happen. So when I wrote this article and they published it, and they Farmers Mutual's actually who I wrote it for, and it became got a lot of attention, and I appreciated that. And it was good to, get that information out there. And from time to time, they'll ask me to do those things. But, we just keep on rocking and rolling. And sometimes we get them. The Sunday show is going to be good. Like I said, we're just working out the kinks. And so we're going to have music and all those kinds of things. Now, it's time for me to take a bottom of the hour little time out because I've got to get rid of some of that Punk House Johnny, Steampunk Johnny coffee out of my system. So when I come back, we'll try a phone call from Vance. I may just call him and see how that works during the timeout to get him on there. And we'll see if that can happen. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to play a few commercials and we'll be right back.
Foundation. This is Rick's House, the home improvement show.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knox Trail Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxtrailSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing. Quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Stover's Liquidation knows that the cost of materials to build or remodel a home has gone up, up, up. But our prices are low, low, low at Stover's Liquidation. Great prices every day. Luxury.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us on the program Sunday. And we're trying a few new things, y'all, but it's all working out the way it's supposed to. Makes me happy. Had one little glitch, but that's A-okay. That stuff happens. Yes, it does. It's part of the beast within. So while we're doing that, before we jump into RV talk about how to skirt underneath your RV and prepare for winter, and that's something that we're going to talk about today. We're going to give old Vance a call and see if this will work. Just to see. Let me think here. Let's try it. I don't know if it'll kick you off of your stream if we take it, Vance. Let's give it a try and see what happens. Never know until you try. Got to get the old reading spectacles out there. 12:38 Eastern time, 9:38 for you folks out west. So let's see what we can do here. This may be a disaster. It may not, but we're going to try it. And That's what we're going to do. So let's see what happens. Okay. Hear it ringing.
Ricky, that phone's ringing.
Vance, can you hear it? I can hear you just barely. Can Brian, you guys listening to us online? Shannon, can you hear Vance? Yeah, I can hear you, but it's light. Can y'all hear him? Just let me know in the chat room. If not, we'll go to Bluetooth and see what Bluetooth. If we're going to hang up, I'm going to go to Bluetooth, brother. Okay. All right, let's try that. All right. So we didn't like that, so we're gonna get rid of it. Now we're going to go to Bluetooth and try it. So we are experimenting while we're after it. Let's go to Bluetooth and see what happens. As we figure it out, this makes it awesome. I love the technology. I just got to get better at it. And what's weird is that you can't do it unless you're doing it live. Here we go. Let's see. All right, Brian. I hear you just fine. Can y'all hear Vance? Do you hear you on Facebook? All right, well, good deal. So, Brian, you don't hear Brian. Let me know, and Shannon and everybody else that's listening out there, if y'all can hear Vance coming through. And Brian said no. Okay. Well, we should be able to. Should be able to hear you just fine. So that's something to experiment with a little bit. All right. He said nope. Okay. All right. We're going to take you off. We're going to take you off Facebook. Let me see. How about now? Nope. It's always worth trying. All right. Nope. They don't hear you. All right. We'll put you back on. We'll have to work on that this week. All right, brother. All right. We'll do that. All right. So obviously, y'all, there's something that we need to make that happen. Just as long as y'all can hear me, that's the main thing. And we'll keep going from there. And we're going to unpair. Yep. Let's unpair that and go from there. So we'll have to figure out, done. All right. We'll have to figure out how to do that, y'all. And hey, it's an experiment. That's what we do. Pete Sanders, can't hear Vance, but glad to have you on the program. We're just trying some new stuff here on Sundays to talk about, and appreciate y'all joining us on Facebook as we continue to do that. Now, Miss Ruby, good to see you this morning. And I've got something that I need to put in next week for Miss Ruby. She likes to hear us do Rendicella. Maybe we can get that in today. I don't know if I have it on here or not. That's something we did back when we were doing country radio, and it's always fun to deal with. We've talked a lot about how to underpin the RV as we come into that time of year. And last year, where we were, because of just a lack of having time to do it, some people say, oh, you should never do this. Some people say, oh, you should do it. We actually use straw, not thinking. We use straw around the RV to knock the wind off and keep the pipes from freezing. And we didn't have any trouble with that. It worked. But here's the problem with straw. Amy's allergic to wheat. Straw is made out of wheat.
Not all straw.
It's wheat straw. Not all straw is not, but the straw we had was made from wheat, and the majority of it around here is wheat straw. So we did that. The other thing is, and we didn't have a problem with this, it makes a nest for critters and gives them a place to nest and burrow and kind of brings them to you. We didn't have any critters in ours, but
we did not cover it with plastic, and because we didn't cover it with plastic, man, you talking about heavy. When those bales got soaked with that, they were really, really, really heavy. So, you know, it's something that was not a good idea. Now, the Miracle Method message line is still open at 865-255-3911. What you can do is you can text me to that line, and I can read your questions online, and we can deal with it like that. So we can still communicate with you until we can figure out how to make that happen, and what other piece of equipment that we need. The other thing is sending a link to Vance, and during the next time out, Vance, I'm going to take a copy of the link and send it to you so that you can click on it, because I haven't set up my Microsoft. They're going to force me to set up a Microsoft account to use Rick's House Radio, and that's okay. It's just something that I'm going to have to do. So we'll add that and see how that goes. This year, you know, because we're not going to be here permanently, but we're here until we can start building and doing what we need to do for our house. I think that I'm going to do the simplest thing I know how to do, which is to use a styrofoam insulation board. And I've got my trailer set so that a 4-foot wide piece I can utilize and get 2 pieces out of it for cost savings. And then what we're going to do is you go along the bottom and you put tent stakes, just a little inexpensive tent stakes, and that keeps it from kicking in on the bottom. And then on the top, where it's going to go just flat against the trailer, and we're going to use air conditioning tape to put it to the trailer, because that'll hold and it doesn't leave a huge amount of residue. I don't want to put something up there that's going to be hard to clean off, because the trailer's 40 foot wide or long, and you know, when the slides are out, it's 8 foot wide or 7 foot 11. So we want to make sure that what we're doing there is not something that's extremely difficult to get off and clean when we go, you know, to do something different. And so that's what we want to make sure of. And so that being said, we're going to try that and see how it goes. And I think that's going to be a pretty good way to do it. And from what I can gather from folks on the road, it's lightweight, it's inexpensive, it doesn't look tacky, because you can get it, and if you can't get it, you can paint it in colors. However, if you paint it, you got to be careful what you paint it with, because if it's styrofoam and it doesn't have a sheen on it or a cover on top of it or a film of some kind, the paint will actually melt the film and the styrofoam itself. You know, if you ever put a styrofoam cup and try to put gasoline in it, that don't work. That's a disaster from the beginning. Now, they make all kinds of RV things that snap on, but they're expensive. You know, and I don't want to put a ton of money in this, but the truth is if you don't get that draft blocked underneath there, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have an absolute problem, because that wind whipping through there is what freezes your pipes and causes your pipes to have all kinds of issues. So we want to make sure that we get that draft stopped. Also, we want to make sure that we're not losing heat from the bottom and getting those critters in there. The only critter we've had since we've been here on the farm was a black snake that was making its way across, and of course it ran into Gypsy, our cat, and White, my nephew, come in and said, "There's Uncle Rick, there's a snake under there. There's a snake under there, Uncle Rick, there's a snake under there." I said, "Well, where's Gypsy?" He said, "She's under there too." I said, "What's she doing?" He said, "Winning." You know, because, you know, snakes, a cat's 7 times quicker than a snake. I didn't know if you knew that or not. I didn't know that, because I was worried about it. Now, the cat ain't worried about no snake. They'll deal with that snake all day long, which we didn't want to kill the black snake, because where there's a black snake, there are no poisonous snakes. And around here, we have timber rattlers, and we have, you know, copperheads, and we have all those kinds of things. And so those are the things that we have to, you know, take issue with for safety. Now, some people say we have water moccasins. You know, anymore, the state of Tennessee says that we only have 2 poisonous snakes in the state of Tennessee. But when people bring snakes from other places and let them and get tired of them, or they escape and they get loose, then you got a problem. And I don't know what would possess people to do that, but they do. As much as even a little further south, you're seeing alligators and all kinds of crazy things up here. And an alligator can they can actually hibernate like a bear does in the water, and be very limited and slow their system down so that they can survive harsh weather, and then they kind of re-engage themselves as in the warm days when it warms up. So folks, please, don't let your exotic pets go if you have them. Don't do that. Just first of all, don't get them, and second of all, if you're going to get them, don't release them into the wild. There's all kinds of places that'll take those that you can send them to, so that it doesn't end up hurting somebody or a child or puppies getting gone or anything else. And that's something that we want to talk about as we do that. Now, we're going to take another quick time out. And when we come back from that timeout, we're going to see if we can't get Vance on in the video. So I'm gonna take a picture of this link and send it to him, and see if he can do that. And that'll be the next test for this kind of inaugural test of this set of equipment, which I think is going to work really fine for us once we figure the phone out. And I'll be on the phone with I have a Rode, RODE Podcaster Pro. That allows us to play commercials and do all the things. We've got all that worked out, and the music and all that stuff downloaded. So we'll do this, and then we'll come back to you here in just a few moments. We're going to take a short time out. When we come back, we'll see if we can get Vance on, and we'll continue the conversation about living in an RV and going on the road, and we'll do that too. So hang on, y'all. Go nowhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to Rick's House.
Wow, that was good.
Was it? All you gotta do is come over here and
What happened? Everything. Okay, never mind. Batteries. It's good.
you gonna watch that.
It's cooling off outside.
Good Sunday morning to you. Sunday afternoon, depending on where you're at. Join us on the new podcast on Sundays. We do the show on Saturdays on Praise 96.3 WJBZ. And so we're excited about doing that. And this is something new. It's a little different. We can play a little bit different music, do some things like that. And Melissa, good to see you. Melissa Cooper's listening, Amy. So thank y'all for joining us on the podcast. We are trying to utilize 2 or 3 different systems. And so the little quirks and things that we have and all that stuff that's happening. Did you hear what I said? Melissa Cooper's listening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Amy says, hey.
I said hello.
She says hello on Facebook, but we're trying to utilize different things. And so we're experimenting with phone calls, text lines, sending that stuff in, and we just about got it to perfection. And so that's what we're working on. And this will be something that we're not constricted by time. We typically want to do about a 2-hour show, and that's what we do. And we want to do it so that it's after we'll start as churches letting out, and then we'll be places like Baker Boy Pizza Company over on here in Knoxville. We'll be there on the corner of Cherry and Jefferson, Cherry Street and Jefferson Avenue, so you guys can come out and visit with us. She says, hey. And then, we'll be at other restaurants like Cancun Mexican Restaurant in Halls. We're going to be at Senor Taco in Broadway. And then for those of you that listen to us during this last commercial set, we played Keith and Sons Electric, great electrician for our friends that listen to us in Panama City. We lived in Panama City Beach for a long time. And so we want to utilize those folks. And this lets us get out to folks all over the place. And that's the goal. That's the goal is to do that. Again, as we figure out these technical things, we'll see how that does. Vance, let me know if you were able to type that in and get pulled up, and I'll see about bringing you in. They changed all this on me about a month ago, and so I need my grandson in here who could, make this happen in about 5 minutes. The call-in line is not working today. However, if you want to text us, you can do that on the Miracle Method message line, which is 865-255-3911. That's the Miracle Method message line, 865-255-3911. Also, a good time for me to tell you, we were talking yesterday, Amy has started a page on Facebook, and it's called The Diary of a Grieving Mama. And this is for anybody that's grieving, whether you've lost children, as we have, and so many of us have, or whether you've lost a spouse or whoever. But it's a safe place to talk and learn and communicate with other folks who experience what you're experiencing, which is horrible. None of us want to experience it, but we do. And it's MAMA, the Diary of a Grieving Mama. MAMA is how it's spelled. And we would encourage you to join that. There's so many of us and hopefully there's words of encouragement. Or sometimes if you just need to vent, there's 7 stages of grief, and all of us go through those differently, and all of us walk through that differently. And there's a great video on there that Amy put on this past week that was shared with her by our friend Mary out in La Pine, Oregon. Wasn't that who it came from, Amy? From Mary Dieter? The video that you put on, didn't that come from Mary? Who did it come from?
I put one on from Mary, but not on my page.
What was the one from
It
your
was a
page?
video about moving forward versus moving
Well,
on.
she put a video on there. I apologize. But the video is moving forward,
Without talking about anything.
not moving on. So
It's
she can
moving
talk.
forward versus moving
Yeah,
on.
moving forward versus moving
It
on.
don't have anything to do with Mary.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I just thought it did, so I
No, it's something
misspoke.
totally different.
Something totally different than that. So anyway, leave it to me to get it screwed up and not say it correctly. However, it's on the page, and it's something that you guys can look at, and really, really good inspirational stuff. So, and she's all the time doing that. Now, we've been talking about underpinning an RV and getting that done. And, you know, if you're going to set that RV permanently, like so many people are doing, then we want to be a little bit, we want to go a little heavier. A lot of people use corrugated metal. I like that look. It doesn't look so much like a trailer at that point. It looks more permanent. And when you do that, then we're going to build a frame. We're going to build a frame out of pressure treated, and we're going to utilize that so that it doesn't blow or get kicked in or those kinds of things. But if you're, you know, traveling, but you still need that and you're doing winter camping, then we're going to take a look at the vinyl options out there. And those are options just like you would put over a boat cover over a boat for winter time. And they actually come with a self-sticking snaps that you can put on there, and it's customized for your RV or travel trailer. And it lets it snap on and snap off in case you do need to move it. So those are options. I'd asked Weekend RV Center this past week, or week before last, when we were down there, about, we went from a 6-gallon water heater that came with our RV, our travel trailer, and a 6-gallon water heater does not give ladies enough hot water to do the things that they need to do. And so when that expired and just was wore out, we went to a continuous hot water system. And that is the greatest thing we should have ever done. And my concern with it was that it was going to use a huge amount of propane. And that's just not the case. It doesn't use hardly any propane. Because unlike the standard water heater, which is trying to keep that water in that heater a constant, 100 degrees or 110 or whatever it is that you like your water heater at, this is only using propane when you turn the faucet on. So it's only heating that through a coil system as it comes through there, and hence less likely to freeze and bust and all those kinds of problems. Ours had actually wore out and busted. And so we ended up having to replace the underneath part of where our tanks was, pull the insulation out, re-insulate, and do all that stuff. And so it was kind of a difficult transition to make that happen. When that happened, it became difficult. And so the end result was we got it done. But now that we've got it done, I was asking Josh at Weekend RV Center, what do I need to do? Because the continuous force hot water system is underneath the storage in the front of the trailer, which is separated by a board between that and our underneath of our bed in the master bedroom. And he said something as simple as just a good light under there, or even a small ceramic heater, just to knock the chill off is all that's required, because it's not holding water all the time. And so to me, that was a huge relief. Now, you talk about cost. They start about $800 and they work their way up for the heaters themselves. Of course, you have installation, but the regular heater is $600, and the 6 gallons versus the huge amount of water that's provided by the continuous hot water system, because as long as you got propane and as long as you got water, you got hot water. And so that's happening. And so I found that to be really, really good, and to be something that, we liked and that we used. Now, coming up in a couple of weeks, we've been working with a couple of different modular homes, actually 3 different modular home people, because that's becoming a huge thing with this market. When we were down in Panama City, we were looking around, and you could buy a nice house down there in one of the older residential areas that's kind of a historic area for $150,000, $160,000. Not a huge house, 1,200 square feet, that kind of thing, 1,000 square feet, that kind of thing. That same house in our market here in Knoxville is $300,000, $400,000. I don't know why the difference is so. I mean, and you're you're a mile from the bay or 5 miles from the beach. So I don't know why that is, but what a lot of people are looking at, especially in our area, because of the quality and because of the emphasis that they're putting on homes, folks like Clayton's and Meta Homes, and then of course Preferred Living Custom. These are companies that we're working with. They're producing a product that is a residential built home. And it has some really neat engineering because they have steep pitches on the roof. And I was asking them, how do you do that and transport it and get under bridges and stuff? And it actually has a hinged system where the roof will lay down flat so they can drive it and take it from one place to the other. And then when they get there, they can stick it back up so that it's, doing what it's supposed to do. Chris Cunningham, good to see you on the program. Thanks for joining us, brother. And I liked that costume. I saw Chris and Amy all dressed up for, I don't know what he was dressed up as. Maybe he'll tell me, but he was looking good on the Halloween thing. So that was all good. And Halloween's one of our favorite times of year, and it was good to support that, and we had a good time with it. So I hope you had fun with it. Hope your kids had fun with it. And whether you celebrate it or not, that's y'all's business. We don't talk politics and we don't talk religion on Rick's House. We try to avoid those things and let the folks that do that, so that we don't have to get in the middle of that. Now, we're going to take another short time out here so that I can talk to Vance and see if he's been able to attempt that yet, and see if we can get his picture on here so you guys can see his ugly mug. I mean, his handsome face, so that we can see how that goes. And we're going to continue talking a little RV and home improvement. You listen to Rick's House, and we're live on Sunday, and we want y'all to stay with us, and we'll be right back. Hang on, y'all. I didn't. Why did you get so mad about that? It was just a mistake.
I know, honey, but that's my page. And I try real hard to work on
Well,
it.
I was trying to help your page, and they're saying thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's fine, but that Mary sent, that was about an old farmer. The video.
I got it confused. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's
You were
just,
scolding me.
if I were to do that to Rick's House page, I feel the same about my page. It's my baby, as you do yours. No, I didn't even put that on. I mean, that didn't even have anything to do with loss. It had to do with.
Well, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to hurt your page. I was trying to help it.
It's all right, but that's not how it went or what I did it. And I never want to hurt your page. That's why I don't post on it or talk about it.
Okay, I'll never speak of it again.
Just send them to my page.
Did you get that link?
If you don't give me, if you
Okay.
don't look at it and
All right.
see my page, you're not going to know it. Just like me.
I don't know what that is. We'll have to experiment with it. No, it ain't your fault. No, I'm still peddling. I'm just playing commercials and just trying to experiment. Does it sound all right?
But it's okay. I mean, there's no harm done. It's just,
It sounds what?
the video I shared was really awesome, and I'm really proud of it. And what is that?
Okay. All right. Let me know if you get it. All right. Thanks. Yeah, I'll try that. All right. Let me know. What, honey? What was you saying?
I said, I'm just saying that it's okay. There's no harm done. I'm not mad. I was just trying to cut you off to say that's not true. They're gonna go to my page and look for that video, and that don't exist.
Okay, would you like to come on and clarify it?
No. The video I put on was no, that was no. I don't have to clarify nothing. It's fine. That's the wrong video.
Oh Lord.
That video, they won't even.
Well, I'm sure they'll see the video when they go on there.
It's fine. No harm's done. It is what it is. So, it's no big deal. I mean, I'm not gonna get my panties in a wad. It's just when I heard you say that, I was like, no. You know how you get so mad at me talking about home improvement, and acting like I know. And
I didn't know. I was just trying to help.
All that, and post a video. Just say she's got some good videos on there. I mean, you don't know what I'm doing on my page. You don't study it. That video's not even on there.
Hey. All right, I'll look for you and see. I'm gonna have to reset up that email to get it to work. So, ain't no worries. I ain't either. We'll figure it out. I gotta go. Bye. Good Sunday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the program live, Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on Sundays. The new podcast that we're doing, and excited about having you guys with us. And like I told everybody earlier, we are experimenting with some things to see if we can get that information to you. Brian, I see that. Are we still good on your end? Let me know. Vance, let me know. Melissa, I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out as well. And that's the whole purpose of these first couple shows, is to find out how we do the new stuff that we're doing. And honestly, like I said, I've had my grandkids here. Chip, good to see you, brother. How you doing? You hearing us okay? Y'all let us know. Could be a little internet issue, but we want to make sure that everybody's coming through, and we're doing our best for you to hear us. And it should be on a couple things. It should be on the Rick Allen page, should be on the Rick's House Radio Show on the road page for that kind of stuff. And it's recording. So we're going to continue to work on it till we get it exact. But we've tried, this is the third different setup that we've tried. This one sees, okay, Chip says we're coming through and he sees us just fine. So that's good. Could be a setting on yours, Melissa. Don't know. Who knows? Could be an internet issue. I apologize for that. Hopefully you'll get that fixed. And if you do like I do, just mash buttons until you hit the right thing. That's what we try to do. Hey, Gina, good to see you in on the program this morning. We're talking all about, we started off on roofs, and now we've been talking about underpinning and travel trailers, and now we're working on, continuing to, and we talked about continuous hot water systems. And, Amy's using that today. We have a washer and dryer in our travel trailer. Greatest thing we ever did. When we went on the road, we were using laundry mats for about the first month, and we looked at each other and said, no, that's just too much trouble. Plus, you don't know who's washing what and what they're using to wash it with. And so we began to look, and I've told this story many times, and Amy picked out the ones that she liked, and then she told me something that's really important, and I've held to it. And I actually shared this information with my one of my physical trainers this past couple of weeks ago, who they just got a new fifth wheel, and they're going to be wanting the washer and dryer in it. And go to the Google reviews and look and see what the ladies say. If it's a product that they're using, they're going to tell you what's right and what to look for and how to make that better. And we did, and we've actually still have the same one, knock on wood, and haven't had any problems. And the cost was very reasonable. We use a Panda um, dryer, and I can never remember the name of that washer. I don't know why I can't remember the name of that washing machine, but I can remember the Panda dryer.
Comfy.
It's a Comfy. That's a COMFEE, I believe. A Comfy portable washing machine, and it has been actually, and I've said this on the show many times. It actually, Amy thinks it works better than our great big set that we had in our house when we were doing that. And happy Veterans Day to you, Chip, for serving our country, and to all you guys and gals out there who do that. We appreciate our veterans. I went to the new Food City in Blaine the other day, and if y'all live here and you've not been to that store, I believe that's the nicest grocery store I've ever been in. I mean, it's crazy. They put a Starbucks and everything in there, but one of the things they've done outside is they had parking, and they had taken a couple of the parking spots from handicap access and made those veteran parking spots. And I just think that's outstanding. That is just made my heart feel good that, and I also like it when they have spots for moms to be. I think that's wonderful. And and whatever you do, don't park in a spot like that if you're not one of those folks. But it's something that you can utilize. The other thing I want to talk about today is talking about when you're making a travel trailer comfortable. We've talked in the past about travel trailers that are northern travel trailers and are southern travel trailers. And when they're built, and RVs too, they're built for different climates. So when we bought ours, it was a northern travel trailer, which was built more for cold weather than it was for warm weather. And so as a result, when we went south, it did not do as good a job cooling as what we had expected. And so we had to add additional air conditioning to that to facilitate it. That being the case, you got to think about how much load it'll carry. And so we actually had to add additional and separate outlets so that when you go to the campground, if it's got a 50 amp service, then it'll run most things. We don't. We have a 30 amp service. So what we did was we bought an adapter, and we put that adapter, a 50 that goes to a 30 and a 20. And so that allowed us to run everything in our home off of the 30, and then the additional air conditioning we run off the 20. And so that works out really good. The other thing that you want to make sure, actually, you need to put a surge protector on. I don't care what campground you're out. You got to have a surge protector on there, and get a good one. They're about 80 or $100, and that will save your system. You don't want to wake up on fire, I promise you. So you want to add that surge protector. And then the third thing that you want to do is making sure that you have a heated water hose if you're going anywhere in any kind of cool weather, because the campgrounds now went to the point where they're saying you can't camp here unless you have an electric water hose. And so go ahead and get one, because it's cheaper to buy it off Amazon than it is to have to buy one from a campground somewhere because you're tired and need to stay the night. So those are important things. Now, I was reading an article on RV Inspiration yesterday, and the question was, what do we do when we're in a national park? And having worked in a national park for a few months up in northern Michigan, we were on the Indian Reservation in the Hiawatha National Forest. And, if you weren't on the campground and you wanted to adapt water, they have water at the water station, but they put a type of faucet on it that doesn't have, you can't screw a hose onto it.
And so it's really difficult to try to utilize it, because if you try to put your hose to it, you're going to lose more water on the ground than you are when you're doing something else, if you want to wash something or do that. So we utilize a little thing called the Water Bandit. And this is something that our friends told us about. And so we purchased one. You can get them at Walmart or online. I bought mine online, I think from Amazon. Camco makes it. They're about 10, 12 bucks. And it's basically has a fitting for a water hose on one end. And then it's about 4 inches long, and it's a rubber sleeve that will basically adapt to whatever type of faucet that you're going to put it onto. And you just, if it's smaller, you push it on there a little tighter, and if it's not smaller, it's bigger, you back it off a little bit, and allows you to adapt to that. The hardest thing we found about traveling across the road and dealing with that was finding water out west is tough. And so as we were running the campground, I mean, you're going to have it at the campgrounds, but if you're boondocking, and there's so much Bureau of Land Management land out there, BLM land as we call it, one of the things that we found was that to get that water and carry that water with you is tough, and you don't want to carry it the whole way because you're adding all that weight. Water weighs about 8 pounds a gallon, and so, if you've got, a 40-gallon tank, you're adding 320 pounds of weight, which is going to hurt you on your gas mileage. It's also hard on the tank, and it's hard on the straps because they don't strap them sometimes as often as we would like for them to. When we dropped our water tank because it had burst in -8, and of course it cracked on the top, when we put it, after we repaired it and put it back in, we added flat metal underneath the straps and added 2 additional straps because the water tank was bowing. And that's something that you have to be careful with. And so, but I had a customer tell me this, or from the campground, because they live on the road full time and work like we were doing. And I said, do you have trouble finding water? He said, yeah, all the time. He said, but I'll tell you some place that usually is more than happy to let you have water that you never thought of. And I said, well, what is it? He said, the cemetery. I said, a what? He said, absolutely. He said, they have to have water in cemeteries for the maintenance people. And if you'll ask them, they'll let you top your tanks off. So that's kind of an unusual thing, a place you would never think of when you're traveling and you're on the road and you're doing that. Now, I want to say that this podcast that we've started is going to be completely different from the radio show on Saturdays. We're still doing that, but this is going to be something that we're going to do in town or wherever we may be. And it'll be a place where y'all can come out and see us and see some of our sponsors. There's a lot of our restaurants, maybe Anita at Cozy Mountain Cabins. You can reach out to her at CozyMountainCabins.com. You can find that there. Baker Boy Pizza, Senor Taco, Cancun. We're going to be next week. We're going to be at Knoxville Salvage location on Greenway Drive here in Knoxville. And so this is going to be a place where we can do that. If you're coming looking for a place to eat after church, we'll be there. And so we're going to have some fun with it. And like I said, we are just in the ground stages of working out the kinks of having Vance on here with me and the other faces that you see. We'll get it figured out. We'll absolutely positively get it figured out, and we'll get it rolling. And so that, we've got the chat room. We've got where we want to add an additional camera so you guys don't have to look at me the whole time. You can see what we're seeing. But we want to give you the feel of what it's like to be on the road. We want to give you the sights and the sounds, and let you see the things, hear the things, and give you a little bit of experience. If I had to do it over, the one thing that I did not do is we knew we were going to boondock, and so we prepared for that as well as we could. We wanted to be ready and have a generator and have comfort and have our food, and we camped in so many Walmart parking lots and so many Cabela's across the country. And Cabela's really good because they have actual campsites for you. They don't have water, but they do have dump stations, so you can dump your black tank. And many of them have a little pet area for your pets, so you can let them out, let them stretch their legs and do that. But if I had to do it over, the one thing I'd recommend for you is before you take off on that first trip, and and you think you're going to do any type of boondocking whatsoever, talk to your local Walmart or your local Cabela's or your local Cracker Barrel, and go do it in a parking lot close to home for a weekend, and you know, at least one night, and see what you run into. Because we found problems on the road that we didn't realize, and if we had done that prior to not being on the road, we could have worked those out before we ever got there. So that's just a little tidbit of information that we hope to help you with to make it better, so that you can enjoy boondocking. And you know, we enjoyed boondocking, I think, better than we did the campground. As long as you have everything that you need. Amy would have the inside set up, and I'd set up the outside. And in about 30 minutes, we were ready to go. And the next morning, about the same, we were ready to leave, you know, or 2 days or whatever time we were taking, because we're 64 feet long in our travel trailer, including the truck. And so about 250, 275 miles is all I want to drive in a day's time. Literally, that's all I want to do. So we want to make sure that you do that. T. Scott Jones, great to see you on the program this morning. Our attorney, man, if you need an attorney in town, I'm telling you, there are other places in the country. T. Scott Jones will take care of you. He treats you like family and make sure that he does a great job for you, sir. And he has a great program on our radio station that we're on WJBZ, Praise 96.3 on Saturdays, that you can go to and see him on Tuesday nights, where he's answering legal questions and has a variety of guests on there that will help you to just ask a question. And with a wealth of legal knowledge, he'll tell you how it is playing to win. T. Scott Jones from Banks & Jones. Glad to see you, sir, joining us on the program. So that's what the Sunday thing is going to be. It's just going to be something we do for fun, and something that it's, you know, I don't do a lot of the things I used to do, but I love to get on the radio and talk and help you, especially as we talk about traveling and doing that in such a way that it makes it easier for you. A lot of new things coming out from Lippert, and Lippert is the company that does a lot of products. They make everything from furniture to solar products. They make awnings, they make jacks, they make all kinds of stuff. And talking about jacks just for a minute, the first thing we did after we was on the road for just a little bit is the jacks that came on our trailer were 1,000-pound jacks, and they're basically stabilizer jacks. They're not made to jack the trailer up. They're not made to do that. So what we did is, as soon as we got the opportunity, we had those removed, and we put 5,000-pound jacks on the corners, and it made a huge difference for us. You know, there are some rules of etiquette when you're boondocking and parking lots and things. They don't want you to put those jacks down. If you do, they certainly want you to have something underneath them so you're not damaging the pavement. And, you know, it's always best to ask, even if you see that it, you know, it says, you know, well, I parked at Walmart in, you know, Texas. That don't mean you can park in Walmart in New Mexico. Every manager is different, and every manager has their different thing. If there's a security guard there, then you can always utilize that security guard, and they'll do a great job with making sure that you're there and that you're getting done what you need to get done. So, you know, we want to make sure that you are getting an experience that's relaxing, and not an experience that's one that's going to cause you to not have a good time. I want to thank y'all for joining me today. We got about 2 hours in, and so that's typically what we're going to do on a Sunday. We're going to hop off and keep tweaking this thing. And now that I've got it set up and see what I can do with it, please join us on Saturdays on WJBZ Praise FM 96.3. We appreciate that. Join us on Sundays here on the podcast. It's something else that we're doing, and we'd love to see you here. We'd love for you to join us on both of them. And remember, you know, grab those babies, hug them, love them. You know, you never know. But God bless you, and we appreciate you joining us. And you can find us during the week at rickshouseradio.com, or you can always send me an email at rickshouseradio@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook. God bless y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you Saturday coming up this weekend.